the kids that they don't want to be coached. They don't want to be told, you should have passed the ball, you should have shot it, you should have rebounded, you should have played harder. They want to say, hey, great job, So support. I've learned, so as a parent, as a coach, a parent, watching my son playing for me, I've learned that they just want to be supported. They want to be loved. They'll be coached by other people. And that's what I try to get to my parents. It's like, give them, they don't need another coach when they get home. They need a mom or a dad.
Greg Zuffelato. West Coast Elite. We're here at the summer tournament, the Seal Beach, in Seal Beach, California, Summer Classic, West Coast Elite. Your son plays for West Coast Elite?
Yes, he plays on the LA national team, 16U.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are his stats here? Tell me a little bit about him.
Well, I don't know exact stats, but he's the thing that makes him stand out is he's a almost 6'6", 1-2 combo guard, so they like him a lot. So he plays a lot. He's a good rebounder, really good three-point shooter. He was 8 for 9 from 3 one of their games this weekend.
Lefty or righty?
Righty.
Okay.
Yeah.
He takes out. Do you play basketball?
I played at Fresno State and then Fresno Pacific.
Okay, and you run Hustle Hoops in Santa Barbara.
Hustle Hoops, yeah, and I'm the head basketball coach at Santa Barbara High also.
Fantastic. So how do you straddle both those things? Is it a complicated thing? Is it a natural synergy? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so we started out a few years ago with just the idea of developing. I've helped with youth programs in every area I've been. Everywhere I've been, I've been in Santa Barbara a long time.
Yep.
But we were bouncing around a little bit back in the Central Valley, Fresno, Clovis area. I always helped with youth basketball, but I got involved when my son was young. We need to get these kids from Santa Barbara playing. So we started a little club, and then there was another club in town. Great, they were doing a great job. Over the years, it just kind of morphed. There was a little gap for a little bit.
What do you mean? What kind of gap?
The club in town was starting to not dissolve. They were trying to transitioning. And there's a youth center in town called the Page Youth Center that the club was run out of, and I decided to step in, help run that club for a while, and then 2 years ago we started a nonprofit called Santa Barbara House of Hustle.
Okay.
The idea is to bring basketball and other youth sports organization to the Santa Barbara area, just provide more opportunities. But the idea is to build a facility or get a facility and warehouse and build out. There's not enough in our Santa Barbara area, real estate's premium.
Yep.
There's just not gym space.
Okay.
So, and there's not field space, and there's not all these things. So the idea was to Santa Barbara House of Hustle is we're going to, and we're still working on it, find a location, get a place, but in the meantime, what we did is we rebranded. We had Santa Barbara Magic was our club that I was running. Santa Barbara House of Hustle, along with Tori Shyrock and Tyler Shyrock, we started Santa Barbara House of Hustle, and we took over Hustle Hoops. So we took over Magic and created Hustle Hoops. So we have varying different times of the year, 10 to 12 teams, 150 more families in our little community, and from third grade through 12th grade, there's kids playing. Really trying to work on developing the girls program also. Right now we have, there's just one team of girls, but we're building that. But we'll have 10, 11 teams playing on the weekend. It's
oh, wow.
It's great, yeah.
Are you leaving the area? You're staying in Santa Barbara?
We do. Idea? So we're down, on House Hopes, we're here this weekend. 3 of our high school teams are here.
Okay.
We have 4 high school teams.
All the same kind of strata?
They're 15, 16, 17U.
And these are all kids you coached through the years, or?
Yes, most of a lot of them. Tyler and I have coached since they were really young. My Santa Barbara high school team is made up of. I would say there's 4 or 5 of those kids that I have coached since they've been in 4th or 5th grade.
Okay,
yeah,
that's amazing.
It's just a good. We feel like if we can provide just high quality. But to answer your question about leaving the area, we are lucky. We love West Coast Elite events.
Yep.
It's a little bit more for our family. So those are our highlights of the year. Right?
West Coast Elite events. Why?
Because the quality they run them, the competition level.
Yep.
If you ask any of these players, so if you ask them about their club experience, like my son just lost their championship just by a last second shot, lost whatever. They won't remember that in a few days. They're going to remember the trip with their friends. They're going to remember coming down here, next week when they go to Vegas, they're going to remember West Coast Elite. They're going to remember that trip, right?
Why do you say that? What about the trip are they remembering?
So the interaction, like so, West Coast, we have played. My club has played teams from Brazil.
Yep.
Played Seattle, Canada.
In this tournament.
In this tournament alone, I mean, it's an international experience, all right here in our backyard. We travel 2 hours here to get here. So.
And there's Dubai as well. Are there a couple other places?
Yeah, there's Australia, Dubai. We didn't play those, but we've seen them all.
So you're getting international level competition.
Yeah,
here. Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So our normal gig for a lot of our younger teams, and we do send our younger teams here for other events, for West Coast Elite events, but a lot of times we'll play at the Sports Academy, which is pretty close to our Santa Barbara. It's less than an hour drive. But again, the highlights each year are coming down here. We'll hit 4 or 5 high school teams. Will hit 4 or 5 West Coast Elite events, and our younger teams will also play in about 4 or 5 West Coast Elite. It's a bigger, for families to come, stay for 3 days. It's just a little bit more, but when we can do it, we do it.
So you're talking about they'll remember not just the last second shot, they might not even remember the last second shot. They'll remember the trip. What about the trip? Is it bonding? Like what are you talking about?
Yeah. I think it's the friendships you bond. When you're on a team and you travel together, you do things you wouldn't do if you're at home. You're like last night, my Hustle Hoops team. They like some of them, which against my recommendation, they went golfing after playing 3 games, and they went golfing. Then they went to Dave and Buster's. I mean, it's just like a paradise for a teenage, high school player, high school athlete, or just to
get high level
fun.
competition, have fun, and go back the next day.
Yeah. Then, so my team is Hustle Hoops. My son plays in West Coast Elite. Almost my whole team was here this morning watching his championship.
Oh, really?
So they're and they don't play till noon. So they got up, came down, supported him, and it's really cool to see that bond. And that comes from years of playing together, travel, and again, West Coast Elite has provided the highest level of competition and the highest, quality of a tournament.
So when you talk about that, a lot of parents want their kids to go on and play pro. Most kids, statistically won't play pro, but there are other values to even competing in high school tournaments like this.
Absolutely. Like we talk about this because I'm also a teacher at the high school.
What do you teach?
I teach kinesiology and then health.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
Good, great.
That's good. Yeah, and I love the students. I mean, my passion, obviously, basketball has been in my life for years. I grew up in a basketball family, but the lessons they learn, like we were talking about, like adversity, and like some of these kids, and not to say, I mean, Santa Barbara every area has its issues, but it's a pretty nice place. And sometimes they won't face a lot of the adversity that some other people will around the country and definitely around the world. I know it's another level, but through sports, they're going to have to learn how to deal with adversity, maybe getting yelled at, maybe getting things that don't go their way. How do they react? Those are really big. How to work hard and how to strive after a goal. Those are really important life lessons.
Yeah. And do you see, you said you've been with a lot of these kids since they were almost just post diapers almost.
Yeah.
Have you seen them grow into young men? Predominantly, how is that? Tell me about that experience of seeing them grow up.
Yeah, you can see the division, and I don't know the causes, but you see the divisions of those that stuck with it, and like how this group of boys that started with my son in 3rd grade, right?
Yep.
They are all 4.0 students. They're all active in the community. They're all. I mean, it's just on and on. They just have found that their pursuit of excellence on the court has transitioned into pursuit of excellence in all aspects of life.
So it's not just there is a causal connection between the way they're working here and how they're able to achieve in other areas.
That's how I see it. I mean, maybe there's there's some uniqueness about them. I mean, they have great parents and supportive parents, which makes a major difference, right? You need good role models as coaches and teachers, and sometimes that is the replacement. There's not a strong bond at home, and we have that in our program. We have some people that have bounced around, don't really have a good home life, and there's still, particularly there's one player that actually has been supported through our club and through our families that really didn't have a place to be, and he's making it through school. He's gonna graduate and do well. He's actually taking some AP classes.
Wow!
And this is a kid that without that support he'd be on the streets. I mean,
Have you seen the parents and the families that haven't had as much adversity but are now exposed to this? Have they changed as well through this experience, through kind of the familial group dynamic?
I think of it going back to myself and just looking at I've learned a lot from coaching my son and then watching him be coached.
Yep.
You know, it translates. So I know I've grown as a parent through this experience. I've helped others. Like I talk to a lot of parents, and I always share messages to parents like, hey, you know, the kids that they don't want to be coached. They don't want to be told, you know, you should have passed the ball, you should have shot it, you should have rebounded, you should have played harder. They wanted to say, hey, great job, you know. So support. I've learned, so as a parent, as a coach, a parent, watching my son playing for me, I've learned that they just want to be supported. They want to be loved. They'll be coached by other people. And that's what I try to get to my parents. Like, give them, they don't need another coach when they get home. They need a mom or a dad.
And then they, as you said, they find their coach in the proper coaching scenarios.
Yeah. So that's why I've loved coaching my son. And now the fact that I coach him in high school, I've coached him in club all these years. I love that he's with West Coast Elite because he's being coached by, you know, great coaches. Coach McCullough and Coach Myers, which are my son's coach, are fantastic. Not only fantastic coaches, but they're fantastic men. They are very, very solid people, great role models. And that's really nice for me to see him being coached by such great people through West Coast Elite.
So you have a subject matter expertise in coaching. Why not continue to coach a kid? Why bring him to West Coast Elite?
Yeah, I mean, at our program, we run it very well. We do a great job. We don't have the exposure that West Coast Elite does. And
exposure to?
Well, exposure to high level of talent, getting in certain tournaments, but more, I mean, exposure to college coaches, like, Ryan Silver, he's connected with everybody. Scotty Martin is just a fantastic guy that's connected to everybody. And that makes a difference. Makes a difference to, and it's a unique experience for my son, but it's also it's the highest level. They run it like a college program. It's run so well that you know that they're getting the most exposure through social media, through coaches coming to their events.
Which is different. Social media, when you were playing at Fresno State, that didn't exist.
We didn't have anything.
So how have they adapted to that? I mean, is that a fundamental part for some parents who don't know? Yeah. Is the social media game an important part of basketball these days?
Well, it is whether they like it or not, it is a huge part of. I mean, you see people that are very active on social media being seen more because they have their clips on, and they're shared more. Now, in the end, you have to be a good player.
Yep.
And that's going to be seen, but it's a big part of it. So I'm not sure how to. I've been working through trying how to navigate it, but what I do like is I don't have to navigate it so much because in that vein, West Coast Elite does it, right? So they'll share my son's stats. They'll share our players, like my Hustle Hoops team.
Yep.
When we play, and somebody has a really good game and they get the MVP, like. We get to share that through so they are generating, because the organizations run so well, they're generating all this that we can piggyback on and promote our own players, our own program through them.
How long has your son been part of West Coast Elite?
Well, we started coming to events when he was like in fifth grade, sixth, like the showcase events for individuals, like little camps. And, Jason Simon's he's been so great to my son. So it's been 5 years, and now this is his first year as a full-time. He played all these seasons. This whole season with West Coast Elite. It's his first time on the team, but
how's he adjusted? How's it been?
He's loved it.
Okay,
absolutely loved it. Loves his teammates. Loves his coaches. He really likes wearing the West Coast Elite jersey. What
do you mean? What about that is important to him?
Well, it's a well-known brand, and you have connection to some very high-profile athletes that are West Coast Elite. You have some history behind West Coast Elite. You see all, when they share out guys that have been in NBA, major Division I. I think that's what a lot of kids aspire to, whether they make it or not. They aspire to when they see people that have gone through the same system.
Yeah,
it's pretty encouraging to them.
Does your son have aspirations to go college pro?
Yeah, he's yes. I don't know what level of. I mean, he's from what everybody has told me, and what I view because of his size and shooting ability. I mean, he's a Division I player.
Yep.
Where that is, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and what level Division I don't know.
And you say what grade is he in right now?
It's going to be a junior.
Going to be a junior.
Yeah.
So he's coming right into it.
Yeah, this is a big. Well, I know the transfer portal has shifted the recruiting around a little bit, but it's still hugely vital to be seen early, and to be seen a lot, by these coaches because you build a relationship over time. But it's an really important part to be in these exposure terms, and just not even exposure to playing against high-level talent like this.
So actually, to that point, the NIL of it all, the transfer portal of it all, does that make it easier for an athlete in Santa Barbara or San Jose or San Rafael, I don't know, New Mexico, wherever, to be seen, or is it harder? I guess what I'm asking is a place like West Coast Elite even more vital, less vital? Is it about the same as before?
So I think it's for a team that is outside, like the major, like Santa Barbara, perfect example. I think West Coast Elite's more important.
Why?
For the exposure part.
Yep.
And then, but to be a part of that, it can be Hustle Hoops. It could be Hustle Hoops being part of that because you have to come to those events. You can't stay local and get exposure. You're not going to, like we play at the Sports Academy. Great, they run great tournaments, and sometimes there's a really high level, but there's not going to be an exposure there.
I see.
And so West Coast Elite provides that platform. There's going to be college coaches here. It's going to be well run. There's going to be high level of international competition, and that's what you need, especially. So if you're in an LA City team or you're Ed Mater Day, those are great programs, amazing.
Those are high school programs.
High school programs.
Yeah.
But their exposure is going to be there more.
Okay.
They're seen a lot by either scouting services or college coaches, and if you're out of the area, I think it's more important. I've had some friends that have been in more, like up in the Central Valley, which didn't get a lot of exposure, that got part of West Coast Elite, and I have a really good friend, teammate of mine in college. His son is now at Sac State playing Division I basketball. He's a West Coast Elite
alum.
Yeah, alum. Yeah.
As a result of that, you think there's some relationship to that?
Oh yeah, I mean he was at Sonora. Sonora, he's a great basketball player, but you would never be seen in Sonora. So you have to get part of a network to be seen. Yeah.
What's happening? You said your buildings, you're finding a new space. Where are you in the process of that?
We've just keep hitting walls with finding a space. Like we've put in some bids several times to find a warehouse and convert it, and it's just they don't come up very often, and then land is, as you said, Santa Barbara's it's not the cheapest place in the country to buy real estate. No.
And yeah, so in that regard, do you have to go further out from the city, or are you going north, south, east?
No, we're pretty committed to make it a Santa Barbara thing.
Okay.
We have real estate agents always looking for us. We're always looking. When we see movement of companies going out of bit, there's a spot we have our eye on that we thought might, so we're always investigating what's going on. And in the meantime, we're going to do our best to run the best program and continue to build basketball in our community through also hoops. And then that's actually expanding into other sports. So we're moving into potentially football, 7-on-7, flag football, baseball, and just to provide a platform for kids to get more exposure, to get high level quality. So what we try to do, and it's what West Coast Elite does, is provide a very high level organization. So things are, a lot of times in past years, when I used to coach in college, and I used to be around the AAU circuit, and people would complain about how unorganized it is. Like West Coast Elite changed that because they just came in and they made it a high level. So we're trying to do that same thing in Santa Barbara. Let's make it super organized. We have great gear. We have great, things that that the kids look good. They're proud to be part of the program, and just provide that opportunity instead of having, hey, let's get 5 or 6 kids together and let's throw some makeshift jerseys together, go play. And then we have organized. So our younger teams, it's 4th grade, but some 3rd graders on it, 4th through 8th grade, they practice year round, twice a week.
Really?
year-round, twice a week, and then they play in tournaments. Now, kids, because of the season, sometimes like they'll leave for like 3 months for football. They'll leave and that's fine. We let them come and go, but we have the team going year-round.
That's fantastic.
So they're always playing basketball. There's some kids that have been playing. My son, I mean, he gets some time off like in August when we go family vacation, but since 3rd grade, he's been playing year-round basketball.
And he loves it.
He loves it. And it's always an option. He's never forced to do anything. It's all his best friends are on their basketball. They're in the club. It's always it's something he wants to do.
Well, you talked about the idea of the organization here, right?
Yeah.
Why is that important? At a glance, I think people would understand why, but why? How does it affect your son's experience playing basketball, the organization of it all?
Well, again, the more organized so they get, high quality coaching.
Yep.
So if you weren't organized and you're just trying to piece things together, you're going to get like a less qualified coach. So he's got 2 amazing coaches, right? And that's what we've tried to model through Hustle Hoops. We have for our little community, we have some amazing coaches, guys that have been head high school coaches. We have a very good staff.
And are they coaching, the guys at West Coast and your coach as well, are they coaching like high school style basketball, college style basketball? Like, tell me about that.
Well, it depends on the level. We're really trying to, we spend a lot of time and focus on skill development, fundamentals, and then, but like our high school, like our high school program runs similar to what my Santa Barbara high school program runs, and that is, it is a pro style offense with 5 out, and everybody's learning how to play all the positions. And that, I think, and we play really strong man-to-man defense, and we're trying to prepare them. Like the kids in Hustle Hoops, my high school, I view them, I don't care if they're at our rival high school, or I want them to become better basketball players. So there's we have one of my favorite players of all time is one of the best players from our rival high school. So San Marcos is our rival.
Yep.
And he'll play. I mean, I don't think I've taken him out this whole tournament. I mean, he's going to play, and it's not because I want him to develop, and I think we want to provide that opportunity. We want to raise the level of Santa Barbara basketball by providing these, really great organization, great coaching, and great experiences.
That's great. You're 6'5", 6'6", what are you?
Yeah, 6'5"-ish. I was listed at 6'6" in college, but fudged a little bit. But 6'5.5". My son's just creeping past me now, so yeah.
I heard a story of Ben Affleck, Matt Damon were standing next to Michael Jordan. I think it was the premiere for Air.
Oh yeah.
And Affleck's I think about 6'3", 6'4". So he stands next to Jordan. He says, "You're not 6'6", and Jordan says, "Yes, I am." He's like, "No, you're not." He says, "Well, if I'm not, it makes what I did even all the more amazing."
That's a great line.
Yeah, it's a great line. Size 16 or 15?
15, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it takes one to know one. I'm 15 as well. So.
Oh, that's right.
So your son's name, if we want to keep our eye out for him, what's his name? How can we track him?
Luke Ziffelato.
Luke Ziffelato. Yeah. And he's 6'6". He can shoot outside, and he's a rebounder. He's an all-around player, 1 and 2 combo.
Combo guard, yep.
Okay.
He'll run typically what they use him. He runs the point at times, especially when there's pressure, because he can see over the. That's what I do with my high school too.
Yep.
Where we have some other people carry the ball so he can get free for shooting and everything, and then when it gets tight, have him bring it up so he can see over and pass down the court.
That's fantastic. I bet at your age, when you were growing up, your height, they probably just stuck you down low.
I went to. That's why I didn't stay at Fresno State. I went to Fresno State as a 6'6", 185-pound power forward, and that doesn't work.
That's a great disservice from that generation. It was so linear and so unimaginative. But anyway, thank you. How do you spell your name, just so we know how to track you and your son?
Zuffelato.
Greg, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.